Data Science, a practical guide for beginners. In today's session, we will be seeing about data wrangling. The last session, we have seen about the general programming tips for handling the large volumes of data. So, what is data wrangling? Data wrangling is also referred to as data munging, and it is nothing but a process of transforming and mapping the data which is in raw form to map it to a usable format. Okay, so that we can use it for our analytics. So the main aim of data wrangling is to assure a quality and data to the customers. So now if you could see this data wrangling process, there are 6 steps in it. First is to discover the data input data structures and formats. Moving on towards organization, that is as per our application whether you are able to reshape your data, and if at all any outliers or missing values are there, it should be cleaned and the data has to be enriched. Then it has to be validated, and finally the data to be published. So we will see these 6 steps one by one. Now, if you go on to the general day-to-day application of the use case of this data wrangling, just we have taken 2 example here. One is your fraud detection. So by using this data wrangling process, so it is helpful for us to distinguish the corporate fraud by identifying, we can identify the unusual behavior. Okay, so by examining the detailed informations like multi-party or multi-layered emails or continuous web chats. One more day-to-day example will be the customer behavior analysis. So mainly if I am going to take a normal example like Reliance Smart, if I am going to take an analysis like what is the customers they are buying daily, so based on this precise insights, it will be enabling me to improve my business. Thus, moving on to the benefits of data wrangling. So it mainly helps in data consistency and we get improved insights and also cost efficiency. So moving on to the 6 stages of data wrangling process. So as I told you, the first step is a data discovery. So it is going to be either a data discovery or if I'm going to take a project, whatever it is. So the main thing is that so we should know the in and out of the project. Okay. So whenever I'm going to handle a project, let us say I should know what are my input attributes and what is the outcome. So similar way. So before starting the wrangling process, it is critical to think what may lie beneath your data. What is your data is going to consist of. Okay, so the main purpose of this data discovery is to understand the nature and structure of the data. So you explore the data set. First, we have to understand what is the content in it, what is the format it is followed, and what is its structure. So once you know the basic idea of your data set, then you can find out what are the potential challenges. It could be there might be a presence of missing value or outliers or some inconsistencies. So once you have identified the potential challenges, so then you can go in for using any statistical tool like mean, median or range to redistribute your data. Also, you can visualize your data. So to identify the trends and the correlations between the data or to check whether there is going to be any anomalies constituted with. So in data discovery, if you could see the usual tools which are used are in pandas, it could be either describe or info, or for visualizing we can go for an matplotlib or seaborn or any other visualization tools. So now once the data has been discovered and we know what is the structure, Next, move on to the organization. After the data has been gathered, you have to restructure your data. That means you are going to organize and reshape the data into the format which is suitable for the analysis for a particular application. Initially, the data may be unstructured or semi-structured that you convert into the structured format. Usually, the tabular data is the one which is widely used, and whenever you are transforming the data also, check whether it is in the right schema, whether the rows and columns have been organized properly, whether the fields have been renamed. Once it is done with, you standardize the data format. Usually we'll standardize the data between 0 and 1 so that we are able to compute effectively. So some of the commands used here are pivot, reshape and SQL for structuring the database data. Once you have organized the data, you have taken the data, you have discovered the data, you have organized the data. Now what is the next step? So here it starts with cleaning your data. So what is data cleaning? So whichever the data which is far apart from your data is called as your outlier, or there may be none which is specified in certain places, or there may be some places where there might be duplicate data has been present that has to be removed. So thus the data cleaning aims at handling the errors, missing data and also any inconsistencies means that should be removed so that the data sheet whichever we are providing it is made accurate. Okay, so you can handle the missing values by using your any statistical operations, or you can go in for the removing the rows or columns by using the drop now command, and also you can remove the duplicates to avoid the skewing analysis. Also correct the data error if it is going to be of any inconsistency format. Then finally you normalize the data so that the data is obtained in consistent format. So some of the tools used for this data cleaning could be drop na, fill na commands, or drop the duplicates, or scikit-learn for the imputation techniques. The next is, once the data is clean, so you have to enrich your data. That means the entire data set should be supplemented with the relevant information so that the data obtained or the data set obtained ensures data quality, completeness and usability in all forms. Okay, so for this, what are the actions that could be taken? Either you can combine and merge the data, or you can append with the external data connecting it to the APIs, or you can do the feature engineering. You can take the meaningful features from the existing data so that it improvises the predictive modeling, or fill the gaps in the missing data. Finally go in for the standardization or normalization. So usually the tools which could be used, it could be a merging tool or a appending tool. As far as the NumPy is concerned, you can go in for the statistical imputation or the transformation tools. Then once the data has been enriched, then go in for a data validation tool. So to find that the data is accurate, complete and conforms to the expected rules and standards. So what we will be checking here? We will be checking here for the inconsistencies, or to ensure the data met the predefined constraints. So validate the rules and check for the completeness. So the usual commands will be used are validate. Okay, so once the data has been validated, then it has to be, once the data has been analyzed and it is kept for the reporting and sharing purpose. So the data will be saved in the required format like CSV or Excel, and it will be kept ready. Or if you want, you can also load the data in the structured data such as SQL, or you can combine it with the API integration, or you can also use it as a data visualizing tool. You can show the outputs through the dashboards or through some reports. Also, you can store the data in cloud storage for easy accessibility, or you can document it and reproduce it with clarity. Any of the data publishing tool could be used. So, and when you move on to the tools, you can use anything, pandas to CSV or pandas to Excel, or in case of SQL, so you can just use MySQL, or you can go in for your PyMongo. Any of the tools could be used. So thus all the 6 process in data wrangling, starting with data discovery, organizing it, cleaning it, then enriching the data, validating, and the final stage would be publishing. Thank you.